Hey everybody, Rix here. Hey, I wanted to share some projects that I just recently made and how I made them. Like this t-shirt you see right here, and check this out. This one here, and this one here, and this one here, and my experimental shirt here where I've been doing a lot of testing. This one right here, see that real colorful thing? Now all of these t-shirts, this one that I'm wearing right here, and this one I'm not wearing right now, and this one that I did as well, RixCanDoIt, and this one again. All these I did using this acrylic marker set. It's kind of like paint pens kind of thing. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I use these markers to make all these colorful custom t-shirts. So let's get right into it. Okay, the first thing that we want to do is prepare the transfer paper, the quick transfer paper. There'll be a link down in the description area below the video on how to acquire this paper if you like. Now I have a tear here because this came out of my discard pile. In other words, quality control as we make the paper. If I have any of them that has any tears or anything, they go into a discard box, and then I just use them for demos on videos because they're perfectly good. It's just that they're not pretty. They may have some stain or something, and there you go, just to explain why there's a tear. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to prepare this paper. So the first thing I want to do is get some kind of a easy tack spray. There's various brands. I'll have some links down in the description below for other brands, because I believe this one here is kind of hard to find. And if I do find a link for that, I'll put that down there too. But you just want some kind of an easy tack. It's a low tack adhesive, and it's just meant to be temporary. And it just makes things a little on the sticky side. So don't get too close to the paper though. You don't want to just spew all over it, but mist it up. I'm going to have to protect this area here, so let me get some protection. Now here's a board that is actually made to be tacky already, so adding more tack to it won't hurt. And I'm going to put my paper on there, and then I'm going to spray it a couple of feet back just to make sure I don't soak the paper. You don't want to do that, but I just want to add a little tackiness to it. Just make sure you got it everywhere. Okay, and that's it. Nothing more. And then clean your nozzle off. These tend to clog on these Easy Tack cans. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is we want to put this paper in a box like this. Just throw it in there. Some DTF powder. Again, links down in the description area. You're going to put back what you don't use. That's why we have the box here. Okay. And you just go like this and make sure that you have 100% coverage. Alright. Okay, now we're going to shake off the excess, anything that's not sticking to the paper. Just shake it off. You don't want a bunch of clumps or anything on here. You just want to have it really coated. See, coated. Okay, and then the rest of this can go back into the container. it all back in here. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is I have this wood board here because I need some kind of protection from the iron that I'm going to use. I don't want it to cause a problem with my workspace, my table here. And I'm just going to carefully place the paper in the middle there. And what I want to do is cover it with some kind of a Teflon sheet. I got a bunch of these on Temu, really cheap. But you can get them on Amazon too. Yes, I'll put a link down in the description area for everything that I'm using. Everything. I'll have a description link. I'll have a link down in the description. Alright, and then what you want to do is you can use a heat press and press this for about 20 seconds at 340 degrees Fahrenheit. Or, like most people, you may not have a heat press. You can just get a hot iron. I have this set on all the way on the full setting 6. And for about a minute, you want to heat this. Now I have some of that powder on the top. I don't want to get that on my iron. So let me just clean that off really quick here. Okay, now just go ahead and iron the sheet. About a minute should do. You just want to melt that DTF powder right on the transfer paper. Real simple. So far, all we've done is made it tacky, add some of the DTF powder, and now we're just going to melt onto it. These steps are so easy. But what's really great about this process is that we're going to be able to paint onto this thing, and I'm going to use paint markers, acrylic paint markers, and just draw, paint, whatever it is you want right on the paper itself. It'll go right on top of this DTF powder, and then we're going to transfer it onto fabric. In this case, I'm just going to get a t-shirt, and I'm going to transfer it onto a white t-shirt. So you can do handbags or whatever you want. Okay, now I think I may have it. Let me see. Okay, so I'm just going to carefully peel the paper back off the Teflon, and I want to see that it's melted. And it does look like it's melted. Alright, so so that's good. Well, there's a little bit not melted, so let me just take care of that real quick. I want to make sure it's all nice and melted onto the paper. It's not going to hurt to go longer, just to make sure. Okay. Alright, so we got it all. Okay. Now, I'm going to turn my iron off because I don't know how long it's going to take for me to draw. But once this thing cools down, we can start our creativity here. We can start getting it all creative. Now, in case I haven't already shown you earlier, I'm going to be using this acrylic marker set. There's the brand of this particular one. And I got this one on AliExpress. They have a whole ton of products, including arts and crafts type products. And the prices are really great. If you don't mind waiting a little longer for it to be delivered because of how far away it's coming, usually from China, it's a great resource. I've picked up things for my printer. I picked up some art supplies, and I went and bought this. And again, I'll leave that information down in the description area. But it came with these markers right here. and they're kind of a water-based acrylic paint kind of thing, but it's a marker, right? It's an acrylic marker. And let me show you close up here. All right, so it says acrylic marker. Okay, so there, it's going to work great on this project right here. Let me get these pins here so I have access to them. Now I'm going to take my black marker here, and I'm just going to create some kind of a pattern, just something, because I don't have anything in particular that I want on my t-shirt, but you may have something that you want. You know what? Let's do this. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take the black and I'm going to go, let's see, how about I'm going to draw a circle here, and I'm going to go something like this. All right, and that's going to be like the start of my sun, I guess. So I'll use yellow here. How about a palm tree or something? Yeah, that'd be great. I just don't know what one looks like. Well, I'll try. I'll just try anyway. You're going to be amazed at how simple this whole process is. It's just incredible. All we did is melt on some powder on this paper, and then we're just going to turn this over and we're just going to iron it right on the fabric. I mean, no more spraying. There's no other thing we need to do this at all. Now, what is that? These palm trees have some kind of weird looking thing like this. I draw terrible clouds. Terrible clouds. I don't know what that is. All right, you know what I'm going to do now? We're gonna bring this to a close here so I can show you how this is done. You know, obviously my little drawing here is kind of pathetic, but I'm going to sign this now. Rix. You sign it backwards because everything is mirrored, right? Okay. RIX. Yeah, there we go. That's it. And you can put a date on there or whatever, but that's it. That's all I'm going to do. And now, okay, so that's the Arrtx, Arrtx. Yeah. AliExpress is where I got these. All right. So, there we go. Now, turn my iron back on at high again. And what I want to do is I want to grab a t-shirt. Oh, and this would also be a good time to trim off any excess white areas that you don't want. You know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use this X-Acto knife here because it's much more precise. And I'm going to be real careful here, and I'm just going to carve out what I don't want. I don't want excess white area, okay, in my final transfer. Because you will be able to see it a little bit. It is clear, but you can tell that you got something there. So if you've ever done transfers on t-shirts before, you know what I'm talking about. Always trim off with your excess. Okay, I'll always do that. All right, and get that out of there. This is easy to do, so just pull out your X-Acto or your scissors and just go to town. Be careful not to put your fingers all over the drawing. You don't know what might still be wet. Let's see. Okay. Alright, check that out. Alright. Throw the rest of it away. Won't be needing it. Okay. Okay, straighten it as best I can. Going to, whoops, power cord got in the way. Make sure the bottom of your iron is clean. Mine's dirty. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this other t-shirt that I have that's my experiment. Okay, be careful not to burn yourself or anything. Okay. And then center this where you want it. This may be the trickiest part of the whole project. So take your time. Make sure you're getting it straight. Okay. I think that's where I want it. Right there. Eyeballing it. Okay. Then you want to do is you're going to get that Teflon sheet again. Make sure it's clean on both sides. Lay it down carefully so you don't move anything. And if the iron is all the way hot, you're ready to go. All right. You just press it on for 20 seconds on your heat press at 340 degrees Fahrenheit, or for about a minute using your iron. Full heat, man. You want this thing on blast. All right, that seems like a good minute. I'm going to turn this thing off. So I'm pretty confident it is on there good. Okay. Let it cool down before we get ready to take it off. Whew. All right, now it's just really warm. That's all that's left, so I can go ahead and start doing this. Get some water and apply the water to the back of the paper all the way to the edge of the paper so you'll be able to peel it. Okay, you want the water to soak into the paper so that we can release it, because this paper releases with moisture. All right. Now, just a heads up, the powder we're using, the DTF powder, has a way of making the paper stick more than it does when you try to glue this to wood or plastic or glass or whatever, or even fabric. It's really strange, but this powder does tend to make it like you got to give it a little bit more effort in taking the paper off, but it's a far cry from having to scrape off paper that's just regular paper. Okay, so this does give you an advantage that it peels better. If you moisten it, it'll peel better, but just be ready that you know, it's not going to just peel off in one sheet like it would if you were doing it on wood or something. Fabric in itself makes it a little bit grabby, and that DTF powder is very, very, very sticky and wants to hold on for dear life, but it'll come off. Okay, that water is soaked in pretty good. I'm going to say this thing is ready, so I'm going to take the excess water off as usual with a clean dry paper towel, and I just want to take the excess off. I don't want to dry this. That would defeat the purpose. And now we got to try to get it started some at one of the ends here, the edges. We get it started and we can start peeling. Okay. You can see that it'll start to peel off really nice if once we get this thing started. All right. So take your time when heating this thing on. Okay. Now I dried this with the iron, so now it wants to stay. Let me take it from another area here. Get it started. Once you get something you can grab onto, and it's okay to scrape on this because it's got this DTF powder coating. The image, the drawing underneath now, it's protected. Okay. There you go. See, this part was the part where I put the iron on and it wants to stay on here. So let me re-moisten it again. Right there. And let it soak there for a second. Get the rest of this off here. Okay. I just love it when it just peels off. There's my name written normal. Okay. All right. And now let me get that off, and it just comes right off. Okay. All right, this all got dry because I'm taking too much time, so let me just re-moisten it. Okay. Get a corner started, or an edge. All right. Again, I should take my paper towel and get the excess off. That way it doesn't keep tearing in little shreds, you know. Just more work that way. Okay. I like to take it in big, broad strokes like this. See what I mean by extra sticky? So I have to take it off in swaths. Big swaths, you know. Okay. All right. There's a little bit right there. Get that off. All right. Final stretch. Get this part off here. There we go. All right. Anything I don't take off will come out in the wash, but I don't want a bunch of paper floating around my wash, so take the time to scrape off any little pieces I may still have. And there you go. Look at that. I probably didn't center it too well. I know I didn't. But that does look pretty cool, don't it? Alright, well, I will throw this inside out into the washer, then the dryer, and the next images you're going to see is me wearing it.